let's talk about the aviation jobs. 87 million jobs are created through aviation. And most importantly, aviation jobs are 4.3 times more productive. Those people who are in the aviation, they're more efficient. They have to read more, they have to understand more, their intelligence level is better, they are more disciplined. And overall productivity, if you compare those who are not in the aviation industry versus those who are in the aviation industry. So overall, the nation's efficiency is going to increase because these people in the aviation industry are going to be much more effectively contributing to the growth of the country. In terms of economy, the world economy, $2.4 trillion, it's a huge sum, is the impact of just the aviation sector. If you look at the global GDP, which we talked about it's 3.4%. And GVA, anybody knows what is the GVA? Gross value add. Gross value add. So, yeah, idea किसी को क्या चीज़ है ये?
No, sir.
No idea. Gross value add जो है जब कभी भी कोई चीज़ manufacture होती है, right? Many times you have subsidies. Okay. And many times, because you have subsidies, the government pays for it. And then subsequently, what you see is that the people also buy it, and then there's some tax that the tax dollars, they go back to the country. Right? So the end result is that you will see that when you talk about the value of the goods that are being sent into the market, there is a portion of tax and there is a portion of subsidy. So if you take these two out, then it gives you the real value. So if you look at the real value in the aviation sector, it is 18%, which is a very large sum, and obviously, which means that there is some bit of subsidy and a lot of taxes that are involved in this. But overall, in the economy, this is how the growth takes place in the aviation industry. If you buy a ticket in Pakistan, particularly, let's say a ticket of say 20,000 rupees, you will find that more than half of it will be all different types of taxes. So that is yet another thing that liberalization. They say that take less taxes, let people fly more. This will give you a greater boost to your economy than just collecting taxes and making money out of that. So that's another topic in itself. But maybe sometimes if we get a chance, we will talk more in detail.
But Pakistan is not following that policy.
No, Pakistan is not, definitely not. But although, it is very difficult for officials to believe that, overall growth is going to take place, and that's going to be more important for the country because country's economy will grow. And as compared with taxes that they collect. So, and this is also, there is a lot of research on this. I will send you this paper. If I don't, then just remind me. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow because I have to travel after this session today to Hyderabad. I'll be back on Saturday. We have a embroidery class that's there. So maybe on Saturday or Sunday, I'll try to send you this article. Okay, passenger carries in 2019 were 4.5 billion with an RPK that we already talked about, 6 trillion revenue passenger kilometers, a huge amount of activity that goes on because of aviation. Of course, 2020, when COVID-19 came in, there's been a big drop, but again, it's going to pick up. And many people think that it may take few years before it comes back to normal, but I believe it's going to come back to normal then faster than most people think. In 100 years, there's 65 billion people who have traveled in the last 100 years. So this is something that is absolutely mind-boggling. Every day, 2.5 million passengers travel. Every day, 2.5 million passengers travel. Every day is a lot of passengers travel every day. And there are 100,000 flights. Can you imagine? 100,000 flights every day. And if you look at goods that are um, traded and freight that goes from one place to another, $18 billion worth every day. Imagine how much of economy. That's why I tell people nations now cannot live without aviation. So those people who are pessimistic and they think that the aviation is going to go down, they forget about it. It's not going to go down. It is, yes, there has been a major problem area because of COVID-19. There's been a lot of scare and people were certainly afraid, and there's new norm coming in. But again, aviation is also highly innovative. I think it was KLM who has come up with UV ultraviolet disinfection of the cockpit. Then there is HEPA filters, high efficiency particulate filters that clean up the air from germs and viruses, even viruses, 99.9%. So the environment in the cabin, in the aircraft itself, is cleaner than when you're outside because it gets fresh air, and every minute and a half it is cleaning the entire air. So it's a huge change, which again it's not being advertised for some reason, but all modern aircraft are carrying this HEPA filters, which are basically cleaning the air in the aircraft itself. Okay, let's take a look at RPK again. 8.6 trillion per year was the another figure that I read in 2019. Huge amount of FTK. You've read it with Aziz Saab. What is FTK? FTK.
No idea, sir.
Freight ton kilometers, just like RPK. When freight is carried, any ton, 1 ton is 1,000 kg, and it is written as TONEE. You must have noticed this. TONNE, ton. Although TON is also ton, same pronunciation, different spellings, and also this is 1,000 kilograms. 1,000 kilograms. And this ton is slightly more. That's a British ton. But this is the SE, which is the standard now. It is so anything which is moving, any ton which is moving, how many kilometers is freight ton kilometers, FTK. So FTK is 185 billion tons every year. This was 2019. A very huge amount of activity. 50 million tons carried in 2019. But FTK is how much distance also it has gone. Okay. And this is the weight. So weight times the kilometers. You see the spelling? TONNES. This is the metric ton, which is 1,000 kilograms. All right. I also want to quickly highlight, I know we've been, talking, but, this is something for you to notice this. And this is the prediction that many of the international organizations predict that the fastest growth that you see is Middle East, right up here, 6.3, and Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific, one of the fastest. So 6.3 and 5, and we are sitting right in between. So we are in the middle of high growth of the aviation industry, and you will see with the passage of time that this nation is also going to come up both in aviation and in economy. I'm very hopeful. All right. So what are the drivers of what makes the aviation grow, and what has made it grow so far? LCCs, low cost carriers. It also just like 1978 deregulation brought about a major change in the aviation industry. Similarly, LCCs, low cost carriers, before the inclusion of low cost carriers, the margin, that means the profit that most of the airlines were making, was between 1% to 3%. 1% to 3%. But in low cost carriers like Ryanair has made something like 22% profit, 22 point something. Many other airlines are making 18%, 19% profit, which is unheard of, which means a lot of activity going on, and more the activity, more the economy. So this is something to note. And today, today meaning just before COVID-19, 25% of the world market was controlled in the aviation industry by LCCs, and it is growing. And now the trend is even the other carriers which are not LCCs are called full service carriers, FSCs. FSC, full service carriers. Now, full service carriers are also thinking of getting back to low cost carriers, and some of them could not change the culture, and now there's also a trend of hybrid. Hybrid is a combination of full service carrier and low cost carriers. Growth also comes from continued gains by carriers in developed markets. So IATA is saying that if airlines grow, then the countries also grow. So you'll see that efficiency, because of equipment, because of fuel cost, and also because of navigation using the latest ATM, air traffic, which is we talked about it, next gen, and in Europe it is called CSAR. So these are also creating a lot of efficiency, which means you can travel at less ticket price, and the airlines can also, because their cost has gone down, they're also making decent money. All right. In the olden days meaning 5-10 years ago, not very old, but 10 years ago, they said if you want to get into business, if you want to get into aviation business, you should be a billionaire, and once you get into the aviation business, you will become a millionaire. So you start off as a billionaire and you end up as a millionaire. You end up as a millionaire because most of these airlines in the past, because of the glamour and you feel so good that you're an airline owner, many business people, they got into aviation and they lost a lot of money. So this is a very famous thing. If you want to start up in the aviation business as a billionaire, you become a millionaire. All right. Yet profit margins are razor thin. 3% overall. This was in the pre-LCC days, and now LCCs are making decent money. I did talk about relationship of aviation and GDP, which is basically the gross domestic product. All right. I'll just very briefly explain this. We'll not get into detail. Most people think that aviation money is coming from direct effects. That is, you buy the ticket. But this is not true. This is just a small portion. And then the money comes through indirect. That is, indirect is taxes and duties, etc., on your ticket. This is indirect. And then money comes in because of induced effect. Induced is you have the airport, but there is also shops over there and McDonald over there and other things, and they also pay taxes because people come over there and they buy stuff, and all these shops, even taxis and other places that you visit, eats like food and drinks that you have at the airport, they all pay taxes. So it is induced effect. But the most important is the catalytic effect of aviation. Catalytic effect is because of aviation, the businesses grow and tourism grows, and you can reach far out locations. Your market grows, and it benefits other industries. So if you have good aviation and somebody is let's say producing cell phones or selling something, they want to sell it in Australia and America and other places, even agriculture, you want to send mangoes to far out places by air, you can do that. You can ship it in the morning, and before 24 hours it's in the market on the other part of the world. So that has a catalytic, just like catalytic reaction. Aviation has a catalytic effect on the economy of countries. So, this is something which is interesting. This
So
is the
just
same
like
thing.
the Serene Air, they introduced the business class and they
Uh-huh.
increased their baggage allowance to 80 kilos.
Uh-huh.
So that's also maybe because maybe they want the businessmen to take some luggage with them up till 80 kilos.
Yes. You will find this industry to be extremely innovative. This all the time people are thinking, how to do better business, how to make um, customers more attractive. What are their needs? And that is why aviation is also using a lot of technology like artificial intelligence. They get all the data and they try to find out as to what are your patterns of behavior in buying and travel and so on and so forth. And they try to meet and come up with things that will attract you. So, well, let's take a look at these economic and social impact. And I tell people that aviation actually changes the life of individuals. Um, Although we are talking about social benefits, but as individuals also, you will find that because aviation is a very disciplined industry, you have to, follow the book. You have to make sure that safety is paramount. You have to make sure that you're on time. You do things according to a certain rules and regulations and SOPs. So, aviation is also changing individuals. And when individuals change, they also impact your surrounding, your neighbors, your friends, your relatives, and that they know that you're going to go on time. So maybe your brother, sisters, mother, they also get up on time and make things ready for you. So the entire society changes because of aviation. So these are some of the things that he's talking about, the slide on the social benefits. Um, Also, yes, the last point is 20 billion in R&D. This is one of the industries that spends a lot of money in research and development. And this research benefits many other industries, many other industries. Um, like, for example, the you will see that lightweight material like Kevlar and synthetic material for the wings and where it is very strong. It is absolutely right for like the wing tips that they have come up with, the shark fins and so on. And now this material is being used in 3D printing in various other industries also. Similarly, I remember the automatic brakes. Okay, this was also because aircraft wanted to land and stop without bursting their tires. They came up with this hydraulic system that makes sure that maximum efficiency takes place. And the same thing is now being used in the automotive or the cars and the trucks. So a lot of R&D, and NASA does a lot of research work on various aspects, and then they pass that information not only to the aviation industry, but other industries also benefit from that. Okay. Just to let you know, as far as the occupancy of the airline is concerned, it is the highest. That means it is the most efficient mode of travel, 79%. Trains, you'll see on the average only 40% are utilized. Rest are empty. Coaches and buses and cars. If you take a global picture, then aircraft are way above all other modes of travel. All right. Of course, you know all this. Your decision-making ability improves. Your attitude improves. Your risk management and time management improves as an individual. You are more aware of the entire globe. Globalization and standardization becomes norm. Social and economic integration with the rest of the world takes place. Again, individuals form societies, and societies form the countries. And countries, when they go into the global world, it's all through these individuals. And so if individuals in the aviation industry are contributing to the economies of their nation. So that's why I encourage all youngsters to join the aviation industry. And also you should talk about it, because this is really going to make a difference, not only in the individuals themselves, but also in the society and the nation. All right, let me very, very briefly talk about aviation is cognizant of the fact that means they are aware of the fact that carbon dioxide emissions are harmful, and they have made a target, sustained global. They have goals, sustainability, so that this entire world is producing less and less. So more efficient engines are coming up. Even electrical engines are being tested by Airbus, and you can see it on WhatsApp. Some similar things going on. Greener technology, biofuels, electric and hybrid systems are there, even solar. Although none of it is caught up to a large extent in large or big commercial aircraft, but slowly and steadily it is coming on. All right, less fuel consumption or more efficient fuel consumption, and all these technologies are going to make a big difference. 2050, it's they say that the aviation is going to be carbon neutral and get back to what it was or should have been or would have been by less than 50% by 2050. So they have a plan and they're going accordingly. That's a big achievement. Talking about pollution, because noise pollution is also one of the things people talk about in disturbing people. If you look at it, aircraft are taking off and landing only, and they are generally at the airports, which are not very in the middle of, in some places, of course, they are, but on the average, if you take the world economy, cars are creating more noise, and trains are creating much more noise than the planes overall. if you take all things. All right, we talked about it. Asia Pacific region is one of the fastest growing area. If you see Asia Pacific, 31%. This is where we are sitting in this region, and this is a high growth region. Domestic versus international. This is about, generally speaking, international travel is slightly less than the domestic travel, and this is just for your information. A last word from Michael Gill, who is the executive director from Air Transport Action Group, and he said, we urge governments in these high growth economies not only to create the environment for growth with liberalized, we talked about liberalization, with liberalized traffic rules and by easing travel restrictions, but also to be mindful of the impact that a lack of planning can have for decades from now. So if you don't plan now, this will have a negative impact from your today's action will have an impact maybe 10 or 20 years from now. So we need to work on this. And this person, Michael Gill, has written letters to the government that reduce your taxes, make it more liberal. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for the nation. It's going to be good for your people who travel, and it's going to be good for the aviation industry as well as the businesses in various other industries. So I'm reaching the end of it, but if you get a chance, read, maybe I should give you a book of on WhatsApp, share this with you also. This is a Harvard professor, Joseph Nye, in 1990. He said, soft power of aviation is much more powerful than military power. And he gave an example, look at Singapore Airlines, Qatar Airlines, Emirates, because of the soft power index, because you travel so much and people come and go with you, you have a much more influence on other countries. And this is a very interesting book. I'll share it with you, hopefully. So bottom line is aviation is a catalyst for economic growth, for positive cultural change, obviously I mentioned soft power index and human resource development, and of course employment. Okay, so I would urge all of you to not only be aware of this yourself, educate others, your friends, your relatives, anybody that you know about aviation. This is going to help them, motivate them, and of course we want to train and retain people in the aviation industry, and this is a mindset that needs to change. All right, thank you very much. We're just a minute over the time. All right, any questions? And stay in touch. We've decided today that the certificate distribution. Sorry, Mr. Bolier? I can't hear you. Mariam, आपसे आवाज नहीं आ रही. Mariam, I cannot hear you. Let me see.
Sir, I'm just listening to you. आप बता रहे थे कुछ.
Okay. So I was saying that all of you stay in touch. So 14th of October, which is a Wednesday, at around 4:30, we're going to have this distribution of certificates for all those who have completed the course successfully and have submitted their fees. Those who are here are welcome to come over here and physically attend. Those who have relatives, they can send a relative or a friend, whatever, to collect your certificate. And those who cannot, we will give you the soft copy, which you can, of course, keep it to yourself. And later on, whenever you visit, or anybody else that wants to pick it up on your behalf can do so from our institute in Karachi. All right. So stay tuned. Also, I want to announce one more thing, that anytime any one of you wants to um, join in, jump in, don't hesitate, give us a call. Later on, you have time and you want to jump in, and any of these CABA sessions that you think you might have missed and you want to, refresh your knowledge on that, you can do that. You'll be more than welcome. So you're now a lifetime member of the CABA club. All right.
Thank you,
Sir,
sir.
can we get the hard copies as well? Like if you
Yes.
send by mail or something and we can pay
Yes.
at arrival?
Yes. That's hard copy is there, and you will get it.
Okay, no, but since like I will be in Islamabad now, currently
Not a
still in
problem.
Oman.
Within
So,
Pakistan, we can mail it. No problem.
okay, okay, no problem. And
So,
so one more thing, like if like in future, if
uh-huh.
we want to conduct any trainings for like a few people, a session like that, just like grooming or something, so it can be done also.
If you want to attend that session or you want to
No, no,
conduct it
means if I want to organize and I just want means like if I want to organize a course, small course for new people or refresher or something
online.
online, yeah.
Okay, so just touch base with me. We'll give you an ID. It will not be the same ID, it will be a different ID, and you can use it. No problem at all.
Okay, okay.
Okay, you're welcome. So, anything else?
So today will be the last class, sir, and
Yes, that's correct.
okay. So no
That's
more classes. And what about the
yes.
results for the test?
That will be posted to you, given to you on via WhatsApp. Individual will get it. It will not be in the group, but it will
Okay,
be sent on your WhatsApp individual,
okay,
hopefully in a day or so.
okay, okay, sir.
All right.
And when's the
From,
next course starting, sir?
yes, the next course is starting on
12th October.
12th October. And
Okay,
also, there's been a demand from some other universities also to conduct the same course for them. There's University Namal, and also there's another university, Narwal. So we're preparing the curriculum for them. They want it like maybe 3 months or so. So we'll be sort of taking care of that as well.
okay,
All right.
okay. So thank you very much.
Okay. Well, thank you, Adil, Muazzam, Mariam, Saima. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for everything.
You're
Take care.
welcome. Okay, take care.
Allah
Mariam,
Hafiz.
I have not
Thank you.
been able to write to the gentleman. I was a little tied up. But I will do it over the weekend because I'm traveling now to Hyderabad. I'll be back on Saturday morning to attend that embryodal thing. And hopefully over the weekend on Sunday, I will write it to Tim for your the thing that we discussed, and also read about various remarks that you wanted.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Sure.
much. Take
All
care,
right.
sir. Hafiz.
Okay. I'm